So good afternoon, students. So I'll be explaining about the interfaces, comparable, and also comparator. Okay, these are both are both are interfaces. Okay, and both actually do the comparison of the objects that you have in a class. Okay, now coming to comparable, obviously when the class when the class decides to do to do comparison, class itself decides to do comparison, and next uses compare to method. It uses compare to method, and the logic of comparison will be inside the class. So once the logic is inside the class, this comparison, once you write the class students, like say some student class, name, roll number, like whatever the attributes the student has, right? You'll be having constructor, setters, getters, toString. Okay. So these are the methods that you'll have. Comparison will come at a later point. Okay. If that is the case, and if you are using comparable, then the logic should be returned inside the class. So comparable disturbs the class. Why I am saying comparable disturbs the class? Because the logic will be returned inside the class. Okay. Next is comparator. When we want comparison among multiple variables, so sometimes once the MNC comes, that particular company doesn't want your CGPA. Okay, just once we remove the CGPA aside, all of you are equal, right? Then what is it we do? We just sort your list based on names. That's it. And you will be sent to the room based on the lexicographical order. And in the interview chair, you have to defend yourself. Okay? And sometimes we sort you based on the roll number. Roll number 1, 2, like that. Okay? And if the company is concerned about your CGPA, like some big product base or service base, then we sort you with your CGPA. Based on the CGPA, highest CGPA student will enter into the interview chair. Okay. So if that is the case, if you want sorting based on name, sometimes based on roll number, sometimes based on the CGPA, go for comparator. So this uses compare method. And next, logic is defined outside the class. Okay. So comparator will not disturb the class. Okay. These are the two things, students. Every time, students, once the interview is going on, if a question comes like comparable and comparator, right? Take it fresher or take it mid-level senior or a senior level man or a person with 2 years, 1.5 year experience. There are higher chances of for the candidate to confuse like comparable uses compare and comparator uses compare to. Are you understanding? Right? It's a zigzag way that the developers usually tell. Okay, you should not actually. Once you have full clarity on this question, students, right? Then people can conclude that you actually have had very good knowledge on Java. If you can explain this, the difference between comparable and comparator. Comparable actually disturbs the class because the logic is written inside the class. Okay, that sorting is based on the requirement student. It's not always we sort. Right now, how you are sitting girls this side, boss this side, just like that. You are not sitting according to the roll numbers. Okay, suppose say if this is an examination hall, you guys will be sitting according to the roll number, depending upon the contest, right? If comparison is written inside the class, you should take help of compare to method. Comparable, compare to. Comparator, compare. Now, once you see the code students, you'll have the full clarity of it. Okay, just write this content.